Hello, I'm Jared Hall, and welcome to the Jared Hall Radio Show. Don't forget to look at our web on sportscaster101.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at Micucci Sports. That is spelled Micuccisports. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at sportscaster101.com. Moving right along, Evan Longoria is out 4 to 8 weeks for the Tampa Bay Rays. I think this will be a huge impact for the Rays, and I'm not sure if the Rays can face this. Longoria is definitely their best player, and the Rays have been the top of the AL East, but the AL East is just such a tough division that I'm not sure that the Rays will be able to stay on top. Even though Longoria is only out for 4 to 8 weeks and he'll likely be back for the All-Star break, I think that the Rays will struggle until then. I think that the Rays will drop towards the middle, but after Longoria comes back, I think that the Rays will become a better team and they'll fight for the playoffs. Next, we have the New York Knicks and Heat. The Heat are winning the series 2-0, but I do think that the Knicks will give them some trouble even though Stoudemire is out. As you hear that Amari Stoudemire punched a fire extinguisher, which in my opinion was not smart at all, and the Knicks have lost him for this game and probably games to come. I do think that the Knicks will fight against the Heat. The Knicks are now home next game, which is on Wednesday, and I do think that the Knicks will play well. I think Carmelo will play well. As you can see, he was playing better without Stoudemire. I do think that Baron Davis will play solid. Novak and Smith need to help it and be their role players. I do think that this is going to be a pretty close game, but I do think that the Heat will win this series. But the Knicks could win this game, actually. And we'll touch on that a little later as we'll also talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder series. Next, we have Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp has been unbelievable this year. He's hit 12 home runs, 25 RBIs. He's setting Dodgers records. He's just playing unbelievable. I do think that Matt Kemp could actually keep this up. I mean, not exactly. he won't hit 90 home runs, but I do think that he might be able to get 50 home runs, possibly over 100 RBIs. He only has 2 stolen bases this year, but the only reason why I don't think he has that many stolen bases is because he hit too much home runs this year. That is crazy, but I do think that Matt Kemp will get more stolen bases, and he'll come towards the 50 stolen bases this year. Sports fans, I'm Jared Hall. Learn to be a sportscaster just like me. Sign up for classes at our East Meadow studio. It's fun and it's easy. Call 516-502-8870 or visit sportscaster101.com. Now with me right now is Vinny Micucci.
What's going on, Jared? Glad to be on the show.
First question, Vinny. The NFL draft just went down a couple of days ago. Who do you think got the worst pick, and who do you think got the best picks?
Well, a lot of people are kind of pointing towards the St. Louis Rams for the amount of picks that they got after they traded down, Jared. And I'm curious as to your take as to do more picks equal a better draft? Obviously, the picks have to still turn out right and do well. The best pick's got to be your number 1 overall pick, really, at this point. The Colts went from having a franchise quarterback to potentially getting another franchise quarterback. So we all believe that Andrew Luck is going to convert to a good NFL quarterback. We'll see how he does. For me, that's got to be the best one. The weirdest one is going to be Kirk Cousins. I'm surprised that the Washington Redskins went with a second quarterback in the 4th round after drafting RG3, number 2 overall. It's not done often, but it is interesting. Washington says they thought he was the next best quarterback on the board. They wanted to take him, maybe groom him, maybe trade him, who knows. But to me, those are my best and worst picks in the draft.
I do agree with you there on the Redskins. I'm not sure why he decided to pick another quarterback in that round because I just think Robert Griffin will be similar to Cam Newton. I think he'll have a great season. He'll play well. He could run. He could score. He could pass. He could do it all. And I don't think there's any reason for that 4th-round pick.
Right.
However, the best team, I think, was the New England Patriots. They took some great picks. They played it smart. They didn't really get some offensive players. They improved on their defense so much. Their offense was already very good. Their defense was struggling. They went out and took Chandler Jones from Syracuse. He's a great player. I actually think they got a better pick than the Jets, which was Quentin Copley's. And I do think that this Patriots team is going to be even better than they were before, and they just had a great draft.
It just goes to show just what faith everybody has in certain organizations. The Patriots right now are just the epitome of success, and the Jets are just running into a lot of difficult decisions, and right now just keep falling short. Well, the draft passes, the same exact thing happens, Jared. So I know Jets fans are not too happy at the moment. We'll see how it all turns out. Eventually, you would think the tide has to change, but the Jets are doing nothing to make that happen as of right now.
Next, we have the Thunder-Mavericks series. The Thunder are up 2-0 in this series, but the Mavericks have been fighting very well. As you saw in the first game, Kevin Durant hit that game-winning shot. He got the lucky roll, and they won that game. This game, last night, they only won by 3 points. The Mavericks played well again, but the Thunder just played a little bit better. I do think that the Thunder will win this series, but I think the Mavericks are going to fight. I think it might come down to 6, possibly 7 games. Mavericks are a good team. I do think that they deserve the better spot in the play, but they just didn't play well towards the end of that season, and they deserve that 7th spot.
Jared, we discussed this, you and I, earlier in the season, that the Dallas Mavericks are clearly a different team from last year. They're older. They did not bring back some of the depth to their bench that they had last year. With that said, they're a tough draw for a number 2 seed in Oklahoma City. Still, you had to try to steal one of those 2 games on the road to make me believe that Dallas has a chance in this series. Now, after losing a couple of heartbreakers, going back home, they need to win both. If they're down 3-1 before they start making their way or thinking about making their way back over to Oklahoma City, then I think this series is over. I'm with you. Oklahoma City wins it, but it has an opportunity or a chance for the Thunder to kind of run away in these next 2 games.
Mavericks are one tough team, and I do think they will fight, as I said before.
Yeah.
We also have Albert Pujols. He has 4 RBIs and 0 home runs. He's known for a pretty slow start, but this is his worst start of his career. Do you think that he'll keep it up for the rest of the season?
Well, certainly at some point he's going to have to turn it around, right? I mean, how much of this could just be all in the new contract? Right. How much of this, Jared, could be on the fact that he's now in the American League? It's a horrible April. There's no question about that. But how long can you keep Albert Pujols down? I don't think for very much longer. He's eventually going to find his swing. And Albert Pujols in a groove, Jared, is one of the best hitters in all of baseball. So, yes, April hurt. The Angels are hurt right now. And you know what? When it rains, it pours. And that's what's happening right now for Albert.
I do think Albert will turn around and have a better season than he did before.
Yeah.
I do think that this won't be one of his best seasons. I think he'll hit about 30 home runs, possibly 100 RBIs, but...
Really, in total for the end of the season?
I do think that. He's just too good. He is 32.
Oh, I'm thinking higher.
Really?
Yeah.
He's 32. He's not old, but, he's not young at all. But I just think that he'll hit 30 home runs, 100 RBIs. Not his best season, but not his worst season.
All right. I'm going to go a little higher. When we get to the predictions portion of the show, I'll give you a little bit more of an accurate number. But, when Albert gets on fire, he'll show you just exactly how talented he is.
Right. Moving right along, next is the AL East. This is a tough division, possibly the toughest division in baseball. And these 2 teams, they've been in the bottom for the past few years, but now they're towards the top, which is the Baltimore Orioles and the Toronto Blue Jays. They're both fighting this year, and I both think that they have a shot of making the playoffs.
For me, the way I break down the American League East is it's always going to be your top 3 for now. Tampa has found their way into that mode. And I'm waiting to see when Baltimore and Toronto will sneak in. Until those 2 teams get deeper pitching staffs, Baltimore especially, they have some good offense, but no pitching. Until those teams do that, they're not going to match up with the likes of New York, Tampa, and Boston. Even Boston's taken a step down now. So have the Yankees, so have the Rays, and there's still not enough of the door open, in my opinion, for the Orioles or for the Blue Jays to make their way in.
I don't really see it with the Orioles, but I kind of see the Blue Jays. I don't think the Blue Jays will make the playoffs. The Blue Jays are a very good team. As you said, they don't have much pitching, but their offense is very good. Kelly Johnson, Jose Bautista, just a bunch of good guys, even though Bautista's not having that type of season.
Yeah, by the way, Jose Bautista quietly not playing well, but he's getting overshadowed by the fact that Albert Pujols is off to a slow start, too. April does that to hitters. It takes them a little time to catch up.
As well as Mark Teixeira, too. I think he's only hitting 1 or 2 home runs this year.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about the Kings. The Kings, the eighth seed, they're up 2-0 in the St. Louis Blues. They won that first round game, and now they're up 2-0. Why are they playing so well?
Jared, I'm going to say the same thing I said about the Mavericks just a moment ago. Although I think they're better than the Mavericks are in terms of NBA. My point is this is not really an 8 seed. They happen to be an 8 seed, but they could have been a 3 very easily. This is a good Kings team. Jonathan Quick is a very good emerging goaltender. He's got a lot of speed, as his name would indicate, but he also is very good under pressure inside the crease. Additionally, Anze Kopitar is putting up some points. Mike Richards is looking really good. This is a talented Kings team, and I was not surprised to see them beat Vancouver. I am surprised that they took 2 quickly on the road against St. Louis. Fact is, this is a very good hockey club.
These Kings, now if you're wondering, could they be in that Stanley Cup? They're playing excellent, and I actually think they have a shot of being in that Stanley Cup.
Yeah, the best part about the NHL playoffs, Jared, and I think you agree, I've heard you say this before, is that really upsets can happen easily, and you just don't know from night in, night out. Teams don't blow teams out in hockey. It doesn't work that way. I mean, they happen once in a while, but very rare. So you can get upsets, and that's what we're seeing right now.
We're going to take a quick break, but coming up soon, we'll have the top 5. I'll have my top 5 outfielders. Then later, we'll talk about me and Vinny's predictions.
You're tuned to the Sportscaster101.com podcast. Learn the tricks to become an announcer. Host your very own TV or radio show. Visit Sportscaster101.com. Click on Shop and download classes from the comfort of your own home. Sportscaster101.com. We teach vocal confidence.
I'm Jared Hall, and this is the Jared Hall Radio Show. We have the top 5 outfielders in baseball. My 5th outfielder is Jay Bruce. He is on the Cincinnati Reds, and he's playing great this year. I was battling between him and Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen's not having the best season. I do think he has a ton of potential, but Jay Bruce has just outplayed him. He has home runs, he's average, he has RBIs, he has runs, he can hit, he can do it all.
I think Jay Bruce is playing in a better stadium for offense in Cincinnati. He's playing on a better team with a better lineup for offense in Cincinnati. Andrew McCutchen does not have that same luxury in Pittsburgh. So I am with you here. I think Jay Bruce would get the nod over him. The fact that he's number 5 right now says a lot about this Reds lineup because Joey Votto is one of the best first basemen in all of baseball. So that's a very talented middle of the order that they have in Cincinnati.
Yeah, Reds are a tough team. I'm not sure why they're towards their bottom of their division.
That'll change.
I think they need to step it up, and I think they could.
Yeah, that'll change. I would like to see like the Cubs finally do something at the division other than the Cardinals for once, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But give it some time, Jared. Cincinnati will be there.
Yeah. And then 4th, I have Curtis Granderson of the New York Yankees. He's playing great this season as well. Last year he had an extremely well season. This year he had 3 home runs one game. He's having a great season. He's just a great player. He was a great player on the Tigers. Now he's an even better player on the Yankees. And age is not mattering for this guy. He's just playing well.
Isn't it amazing how a guy like that and that size can be a 5-tool player, which is what he is? It goes to show, and I said this at the time of the trade, yes, the Yankees gave up Austin Jackson, but you were getting back a premier player still in his prime. You weren't getting 1 or 2 years out of Curtis. You were going to still get a handful of years. That's what the Yankees are getting, so the trade makes sense. He is now a 5-tool player. He added power to his repertoire on a regular basis, and that to me is very impressive, Jared.
As he was on the Tigers, he was only hitting 15, 20 home runs. Now he's hitting 40, 50 home runs. Significant improvement. At 3rd, I have Ryan Braun of the Milwaukee Brewers. I do have him 3rd, which I think is a surprise for many people, just because, the steroids and all of that stuff. He's playing well, but I would have him a little lower if he didn't take those steroids. Like I do think that some of his playing is because of the steroids. Not so much, and the 2 guys above him I just think are playing better than him. He did hit 3 home runs a couple days ago. He's just playing very well as well.
Now you got to remember, for the purposes of reporting here, that technically Ryan Braun wasn't found guilty of the steroid use. Okay, that's 1. 2, it was off. Now, whether you want to say it was a technicality, whether you say it was a mistake, whatever the case is, Ryan Braun has not been suspended. He's still allowed to play. Where I am with you, Jared, is that he has a lot to prove this year. If he goes out and he has a tough season, that's going to create a lot of doubt amongst fans. It certainly looked good from the other day, though, as he had 3 home runs at Petco Park to go with a triple and a couple of RBIs. He is off to a good start. But I'm with you. Very talented player. I could easily see him winning an NL MVP.
Right. They said he didn't take steroids, but I just think he did. I mean, I don't think these tests could be wrong. I mean, these tests are so accurate. They do so much work on these things. And Ryan Braun, he has so much power. I mean, you can't just assume that he took steroids, but I just think he did.
Right.
Just because of tests.
Oh, there's no question that you're allowed to have the opinion you want, and I think a lot of people would probably agree with you. But the fact remains is that he wasn't suspended. There was something that occurred that meant that his test did not go through, and because of it, he gets to continue playing baseball. So in the court of public opinion, he might be guilty. But in the court of baseball and the reasons that they would for a suspension or not, he's not. And that's where we have to kind of put our hat on right now because he's playing regardless really of what you and I think.
Right. And then at number 2, I have Josh Hamilton of the Texas Rangers. He's having a great season. He's still in his prime year. A couple years ago, he got tested with those drugs. He wasn't the best guy. Now he's fine. He won the home run derby a couple years ago. Here, I think it's 9 home runs he has this year. Second most in the MLB. He's playing excellent.
For Josh Hamilton to be where he is after the type of early part of career he had with all the substance abuse and more says volumes about how hard he has worked to get to this point. I had the opportunity to meet him on a couple of different occasions. Seems like a great guy, somebody you want to root for. But with that said, you still got to go out and do it. And that is what he is doing. He's putting up great numbers. As long as he can stay healthy, I have no problem with where you have him on the list, Jared.
He's on a great team. He's staying healthy, and he's playing great. That's why he's at number 2. At number 1, I don't think this is a surprise at all, is Matt Kemp, the Dodgers. He is just unbelievable. I think he's 30, something like that, 28, 27. He's playing so good right now. It's crazy. 12 home runs, 25 RBIs. He can do it all.
Matt Kemp can almost consider himself the king of baseball. Yeah. He just needs to get the winning season, which the Dodgers are doing, and perhaps shine in the playoffs. If he does that, you were talking about a guy who's putting up great numbers, has a mega contract, plays for a team in Los Angeles that is still revered by so many in the Dodgers. I mean, you're talking about Hollywood, baseball, money, everything all mixed into one. All that he's missing is some success in the postseason, and there's nothing that says the Dodgers can't be one of those teams this upcoming year. So, fact is, I'm with you. Matt Kemp, clear-cut number 1 right now.
Him and Ethier of the Dodgers are 2 great players, and they make a great combination.
I'm with you, yeah. And again, and it goes to show teams that have success, those 3-4 hitters or whatever, they have to make sure they feed off of each other. And I think Ethier is benefited by the fact that Kemp is playing so well, because Ethier isn't putting up numbers that we didn't really expect as well either. I mean, I know he's a good hitter, but you're feeding off of each other, and opposing hitters just don't know how to solve it. And that's why right now the Dodgers, I believe, as we speak, have the best record in the National League.
We're going to take a quick break. Coming up is me and Vinny's predictions.
Do you have what it takes to make it in the sportscasting business? Hear from a professional himself. Vinny Micucci from sports fan to sportscaster gives you an inside look at some of the tricks of the trade from the point of view of a real professional sportscaster. Go inside the locker room, read behind-the-scenes stories, and find out what you've always wanted to know about covering sports on the inside. From sports fan to sportscaster. Available by visiting sportscaster101.com today.
I'm Jared Hall, and this is the Jared Hall Radio Show. Me and Vinny are going to make our predictions right here. I'll start off. My first prediction is that the Thunder will win the NBA title.
I like it. First off, the Thunder at the beginning of the season looked like that team that not only were they the type of team that had all that it took to win, but they were the type of team that everybody wanted to root for. Last year was so much fun because you got to root for Dallas over Miami. Maybe this year we'll get to root for Oklahoma City over Miami. I do like it. They have 2 great scorers. We'll see exactly what ends up happening after this whole fallout with Harden after getting the elbow from Meta World Peace, which I still find weird to say. But the fact is that this is a good choice, good pick by you. I like it, Jared.
Yeah, I just think that this Thunder team is way too good. I think this will be a good series in the finals between the Thunder and the Heat. Now your prediction?
All right, let me go over to baseball because earlier I said I was going to give you my numbers for Albert Pujols. You said 30 and 100 for the year. I think my prediction, Albert Pujols, 25 home runs by the All-Star break. He still has May, June, some of July. I think he starts turning it on. This guy could finish with somewhere in the 40s for home runs by the end of the year. The fact is, Albert Pujols on a hot streak is 10 times better than anybody else on a regular streak, or even on a hot streak for that matter. He just has to snap out. Right now he's pressing. When that first home run leaves the yard, you watch. He'll have 10 before you blink your eye.
25, that's a tough number. I think 15, maybe even 10.
Wow.
It's tough. My next prediction is that the New England Patriots will have a 1-loss season. They had a great draft. As I said, they had the best draft picks, I think. And they're just playing great. They had a great season last year, made it to the Super Bowl, and they're just an excellent team.
Who's the loss? Who's the one? Who do you want it to be?
I'm not sure. I mean, there's a couple teams, Giants, Jets.
Well, the Giants aren't on the schedule this year, but if they were, you could probably assume it would be a loss because you're right. They've had a lot of trouble with them.
The Jets, maybe.
All right, Tebow comes through with a game-winning touchdown after coming in for Sanchez. You know what, though? You're right. The Patriots, again, are expected to be an AFC favorite. The Packers are probably expected to be the NFC favorite. We're looking at a couple of the same teams, but you know what? That's what makes every sport great. You just don't know. The Giants, again, for the second time in 4 years, came out of nowhere, did some great things, and we'll see who it ends up being in 2012.
Right.
My next one, Jared, I'm going to take it onto the ice. And this one almost gets overshadowed a little because you actually brought it up earlier. You said, hey, the Kings could win the Stanley Cup. My prediction was the Kings will win the Western Conference Championship and go to the finals. I'm not giving them the cup just yet, but that's how good they are. Although you seem to agree with me. You brought it up a little bit earlier.
Right, I do think the Kings will make it to the Stanley Cup. I actually think they're going to win. Who do you think they're going to beat, though?
Well, that's a good question.
Or lose
I'm
to.
partial. I'd love to see the Rangers make it to the finals. That's my team. With who is left, I think the Rangers have the best chance. I thought the Bruins matched up best against the Rangers. And ironically, the Senators matched up great against the Rangers, and they escaped after 7 games. From here on out, though, I think the Rangers are your clear-cut favorite. But to do it on paper and do it on the ice are two different things.
I actually think that the Capitals are going to beat the Rangers, and the
Wow.
Capitals are going to face the 8-seed Kings in the
Wow.
the championship. Capitals are just a great team, and I think they match up better against the Rangers.
You know what? If LA gets to the finals, the NHL is going to love it because have LA in the finals in the West and any of the 4 teams really that remain, maybe except for Jersey, although Brodeur and Jersey are still a good town, good city, they'll love that finals and they'll love everything, the attention they'll get.
My next prediction is the Los Angeles Angels will miss the playoffs. I did say before, Albert Pujols will only have about 30 home runs, 100 RBIs. You disagree with me. But the Angels, other than Pujols, they do have C.J. Wilson. I don't think they have much on offense. Their pitching is solid. But, who's their offensive player besides Pujols? Kendry Morales. A couple other guys, Vernon Wells, but no one big like Pujols. Pujols has got to have that other guy, like we said before, Matt Kemp and Andre Ethier, Mark Teixeira, Alex Rodriguez. A bunch of those guys have another guy by their side. I just don't think that Pujols will have that.
Well, you're right again in that scenario, and ultimately I think the entire American League West is just driven by the Texas Rangers, and there's your big difference when all is said and done. But the fact is that the offense that the Angels have is impressive. The pitching staff is just that much better, so I do like your prediction for that one. I will now give you my next prediction. Initially, I kind of was hoping that it wasn't going to be the case, but it seems more and more like it. With Derrick Rose going down, with the Knicks really doing nothing against the Heat right now, I think the path is clear and paved and waiting for Miami to win an NBA championship. Jared, where do you stand?
I disagree. I said before that the Thunder will win it. I did think that before Rose was out, I did think that the Heat will beat the Bulls, and I still think that's going to happen, obviously. Don't forget, the Bulls are a pretty good team. Without Rose, they were 18-9. That's not bad. I think that they'll beat the 76ers. Probably not their next opponent. But, they're still a good team without Rose. They have Luol Deng, Joakim Noah, just a bunch of other role players, but just not enough.
You're up to your last prediction.
My last prediction, not so much a surprise, but Matt Kemp will be the MVP.
Okay, I can't argue with that. You've given a lot of good reasons throughout the course of today's show to support that, and I think I'd like to see it. I'd be excited to see the Dodgers win the division, go do some good things in the playoffs, and maybe represent the National League. So we'll see, but you're a very difficult prediction that you just made there for me to really go against. I'm with you on that one.
And what's your last prediction?
My last prediction, Peyton Manning will lead Denver to 13 wins or more this year. I know he has to stay healthy, but if he does, good offensive line, one of the youngest, best defenses in the AFC, and really, I don't see anybody, even the Chargers at this point, that can beat Denver. Denver won the division last year with a 500 record and with Tebow, and I love Tebow, but Peyton Manning is Peyton Manning. And you put him in that mix now, give him some time to get ready, run that offense, I think they could be a 13-win team.
I think they'll win the division. I'm not sure about 13 wins. That's a whole lot of wins. They're going to have they're going to play some tough teams there. Do think they'll win the division. All right, that's the end of the Jared Hall Show. Don't forget to look us up on the web at sportscaster101.com. Follow us on Twitter at Micucci Sports, MICUCCI, at SPORTS, and like us on Facebook at sportscaster101.com. I'm Jared Hall. Thanks for watching.